Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Fifer, served up by Wendy's on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Download the Wendy's app today.
It is time again as we broadcast live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Steve Sparky Fifer here. Charlie Usen over there. Don't forget, you can stream us on your Odyssey app, AUDACY. You can download any of your favorite shows in podcast form on anywhere you download your favorite podcast app. That's always an option. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, 5 to 8 tonight, Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound. Tommy Wirtz, Josh Albrecht with the leadoff show from 5 until 8, getting you ready for Game 2 tonight between the Brewers and the Chicago Cubs. That pitching matchup, Ashby versus Imanaga. We will see what it looks like coming up behind Aaron Ashby. I said earlier, I would wait, and I would pitch Priester in Game 3, Quintana in Game 4, and then if you need a Game 5 pitcher, go with Freddie Peralta. That would be my plan of attack. And then tonight, going off of what Charlie had to say when we asked him about it, which is just go with your lefties, right? Just make it tough on them and pitch your lefties. Go Ashby, go Hall, go Gasser, and use those guys until you get to the 7th inning, and then go with your normal back-end guys at the back end and see if you can piecemeal it together to essentially be a bullpen day, get the win at home, and then be in a position to win one of the next two with two legitimate starting pitchers at Wrigley, where apparently it sounds like the wind's going to be blowing in for Game 3.
You're going to get a lot of these young guys a playoff experience, which is going to be really important for them at home, which is the much better environment, especially after what we saw in Game 1, where Brewers fans just showed out for that team. And then 2, I think you're saving a lot of these veteran arms that do know how to pitch in places like Chicago, who's going to be a lot more hostile to this Brewers team than San Diego if they were to play there. It's really important that you get a Quintana or a Freddie Peralta or a Quinn Priester in situations like that where they can handle themselves a little bit easier.
You know, the other part about this, too, when we talk about this Brewers team going into tonight's game, the Jackson Chourio factor in all of this, because this last game, Jackson Chourio was the leadoff hitter. When that lineup came out, everybody's like, woo, he moved Chourio back up to leadoff spot. And it worked. And then he had the hamstring strain. And then we had no idea how this thing was going to play out going forward. Well, now if there's going to be no Jackson Chourio in the lineup tonight, and we're waiting to find out whether or not he's going to tell anybody, I wouldn't. The question is, what then does the lineup look like, number one? And then number two, because of somebody else having to be in that lineup, who then becomes the designated hitter? Vinny Rottino said that he would make Chourio the DH and put Yelich in the outfield and let Chourio just bat, and that's it, and not have to worry about running around in the outfield. My question to you is, would you play Chourio tonight? Would you play him? Nicolay Law Fan Talk, text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Sound off with the recorded voice message on the Odyssey app, Facebook, and Twitter at The Fan Milwaukee. I will tell you, there is zero chance Jackson Chourio is going to play in this baseball game tonight if it's me. And I do not care if Jackson Chourio goes, I'm good. I can play. I don't care. You're not playing. Sit over there, act like you might play, and we'll go from there. He ain't playing. I'd much rather have him ready for Game 3 or Game 4. And I'll take it a step farther. If they win tonight, he's not playing in Game 3 either. You can forget about that too, Jackson. You're not going to play there either. And if they can get out of this series with Chourio having to play another game and make sure that hamstring is rested for next Monday when the LCS starts, hallelujah. Get him a week to rest that hamstring, and then we try it again. That's the same hamstring that's out for like a month with. Why are we playing games and trying to put him out there in Game 2 of the playoffs, whether it be as a starter or as a pinch runner? You're up 1-0. This isn't Game 5, loser goes home. Yeah, that's one thing. Game 5, loser goes home. You're trying to stay alive in the postseason, and he tears his hamstring or whatever happens at that point. Okay, then it's fine. You know, you have all this time to recover, be back for next season. Fine, you can live with it. You lose him for the rest of the postseason, but he wanted to try and extend this thing for the Brewers to get him to the next round. That's one thing. This is Game 2, and you're up 1-0, and you're at home. I don't feel like there is a need to have to go out there and play Jackson Chourio. What say you? Nicolay Law Fan Talk text line 414-677-1250. Charlie Usen, what do you think?
It's the playoffs, Sparky.
Yes,
I don't care if it's game 2. I don't care.
Nope.
It's playoff baseball, and he's one of the most important players on this team, especially when it comes to the playoffs. He's proven in one playoff run, one series last year, and then one game this year, half a game this year, that he is one of the most important players in that Brewers lineup. And I know that you want to keep him healthy and that you want to keep him as ready to go as possible. But if you don't win this series, then you're not playing another series. There's no reason to keep him healthy for that.
We're not in that scenario. We're in game 2 of a 5-game series. We're up 1-0. This is not – the Cubs are in a situation of they really, really need this game, right? Worst case, Brewers are 1-1. It's not end of the world. You go back to Chicago, get one, come back, win the series. The Cubs, on the other hand, they lose tonight. It's 2-0. They then got to win the next 2 at Wrigley. All the pressure shifts to them. Brewers, this is not a pressure-packed game necessarily. I don't think game 2 for the Milwaukee Brewers.
I think there's still a lot of pressure. It's still a playoff game.
Sure,
you're still in a situation.
A game. Yeah.
At some point here, I think you have to draw the line. And right now, you're sitting
game 5 is the line for him.
At the beginning of the season, you were saying you want to keep people healthy for the playoffs. We're in the playoffs now,
and he's
now
not
all of a sudden
healthy.
we have to push the line back again. I don't think that's fair. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm pushing the line back again. I want to make something very clear. I want to win the playoffs. I want to win. I want to see the Brewers win the NLDS. I want to see the Brewers win the NLCS. I want to see the Brewers win a World Series. But you have to understand where you are and the injury that you're dealing with when it comes to Jackson Chourio. This is not the other hamstring. This is the same hamstring, number one. Number two, the importance of Jackson Chourio, you said, it's huge. You got to have him. They won 14 games in a row without him. They've been here. They've done that. Now, can they win without him again? Yes. However, there is a big but, capital B-U-T. But Isaac Collins better play like he did prior to having that kid. That has to happen. If he plays like he's been playing, complete miss. Then that's going to be another big hole in this lineup. Now you're talking about possibly having 3 holes in this lineup between Collins, Perkins, and Ortiz. Cannot have it. If Chourio is going to be out any length of time, then Isaac Collins has got to do his job and be that guy that was in the Rookie of the Year conversation for a good part of this season.
I know they did it without him, but also I feel a lot more confident still with Jackson Chourio in that lineup, more so than an Isaac Collins.
Absolutely.
And I know that you can go through and win games that way, but that was also with the starting rotation being at one of their healthiest points of the season. That's when Woodruff and Mizorowski were starting to get to the end of their kind of tear there that they both came off of post All-Star break. And I think that the bullpen was at its healthiest at this point. You're not in that same situation.
I'll say something else. If I'm the Brewers, if Chourio's not playing tonight, I'd be shocked if he is. If Chourio's not playing tonight, I'd leave the lineup alone and I'd bet Collins lead off. I would simply take Chourio out. I'd put Collins in. As Rutino pointed out earlier, he walks a ton. He doesn't chase bad pitches. So if he's not going to get a bunch of doubles and hit a bunch of home runs, if being that leadoff hitter means you get on base via a walk a couple of times throughout this game and set the plate or set it up for everybody else.
Text from our friend Andrew Wagner,
Forbes Sports Brewers writer.
Forbes Sports
He'll
Brewers
be on
writer.
Tonight during the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook with Tommy and Josh.
He just texted that Jackson Chourio is leading off for the Milwaukee Brewers tonight.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you what I told you before with Zach Tom. I better not be right twice on this. That's all I got to say. I was right on Zach Tom. I was right on Jair Alexander when he got re-injured. And mark my words, this goes sideways tonight and they lose him for the postseason or something crazy. It's on Pat Murphy and that training staff's head if something goes wrong. That's it. I don't care what happened prior to this. I don't care that you're manager of the year and all of this. We're not using our brains. We're just not, none of you all are using your damn brains.
Because they're using their damn hearts, baby. And I think that matters a lot right
Hearts? Now. I don't give a damn about your heart. This should be about your brains. Got a Cubs fan over here telling you, oh, yeah, should go ahead and play him. I think it's a great idea. Well, of course. Because if it gets hurt, they're screwed. They're not screwed. I shouldn't say that. They're not screwed, but it's not ideal. You do not need to win this game in order to sacrifice Churro out there. This was game 5, fine. I understand. I'm completely against this. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Churro is healthy the rest of the playoffs and no issues with Jackson Churro. Jackson Churro gets hurt tonight. This is on them. 1,000% on them. Johnny, North Side, you're next on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. What's up, Johnny?
What's going on, Sparky? How you feeling today?
I was fine until he just told me that Churro's leading off.
Listen, when you brought the topic up and you spoke originally about it, I was 100% on board. But then I'm sorry, Charlie he did talk me into it. You got to play him, man. It's the playoffs. And in any other case scenario, if the Brewers were a team that in the recent history that we've been winning and I'm playoff-wise, not this season, because that 10-game win streak 3 times or whatever, that doesn't matter anymore. It's right now, right now. I just feel like they're in a position right now that it got to be all hands on deck if he can go. So I'm saying if the doctors are clearing him and they're saying that they're no more or less risk factor if he didn't play, what's another day, that day won't heal it up anymore, or this will be a little lingering, this little pull. I'm not sure. At the very least, he got to be in there to hit. If it doesn't affect his hitting and you get a pitch runner in there for him, he got to be in, but he got to be in his lineup. I just feel like we in a position right now, we can't lose this momentum. He was a big part of that. I think you just got to play him. And I hate to say I hate to risk him, but hey, you play this game, y'all get paid a lot of money. Yeah, that's an expensive hamstring right now. We need to put it to work. I'm sorry.
Yep, good. Well, don't call back tomorrow and be like, I knew they shouldn't have played him, and now he's gone for the playoffs. I do not want to hear this tomorrow, Johnny, about, Sparky, I knew you were right. I should have listened. I don't want to hear it. You had your chance right now, and you chose not to agree with me, which is fine.
Before you cut me off, I said originally, I'm with you.
Yeah,
I was.
and then you listened to the Cubs fan. Congratulations.
Man, in my heart, I could just see. I don't want to lose the game. You don't understand. I can't lose the game. We can't lose it. I don't want to go back to Chicago 1-1. We need 2-0, and I feel a lot. Say, then let him rest. Then he can rest his hamstring after that. Then we can sit him. Yeah, with 2-0, he can sit the rest of the series if he wants to. 2-0, I know we'll get one in Chicago. But 1-0 right now, we need him. We need his back. We don't need his running. Or, but in your defense, they could have put Sal in that number one spot. They could have put Sal there.
All right, thanks for the call. Hey, thanks for the call, John. Is he leading off as a DH or as an outfielder?
He's leading off as the starting left fielder, Sparky. That's what Brandon came in here to say to Brandon Snide.
Telling you. Just telling you right now, folks. Friday, I said the key to this series was, and every series, was Churro playing like a star. And now you're going to put this dude in harm's way, possibly, and ruin him for the rest of the playoffs because you're trying to win freaking game 2 when you're up 1-0 and you're at home on top of everything else. And you're facing a guy that David Hoffman, the score on earlier, said it'll be batting practice tonight against Imanaga, probably. So he's concerned about his starting pitcher already. And you're like, ooh, we got to have Jackson Churro out there for game 2. Otherwise, we may lose. Stop, man. Have some confidence in your other guys. I hope I'm wrong. I hope you all tell me when they win the World Series. See, Sparky, aren't you glad they played him in game 2 of the NLDS and we got on this run and it all worked out? See, you were worried over nothing. See, no worries, Sparky. I hope you all can tell me that. I do. I hope you all can tell me that. I hope I am wrong. I'm wrong a lot, so I hope this is another thing I'm wrong on. But if I'm right, like I was on Jair, like I was on Zach
Never
Tom,
going to hear that. My gosh.
You better just not show up. You better see if somebody else can work for you tomorrow. So something goes wrong tonight. And I don't ever want to hear another word about Pat Murphy.
Tomorrow, another big news. Charlie's on 9 to noon and Brandon's on Wisconsin Sports Daily. Yeah.
I don't want to hear any more about the great, brilliant Pat Murphy anymore. I don't want to hear about how great the training staff with the Brewers is anymore. I don't want to hear any of that stuff. Because this is absolute boneheadedness is what's going on right now. Retino even said when he was watching him run, he didn't look like he was opening up. He even said that. we're going to take a timeout because I need to calm down because I am not very happy right now. We'll come back. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM and 1057 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Don't forget, hit up the Potawatomi Sportsbook before a postseason game, but you need a ride to the game. I'm at the Sportsbook, but now how do I get? We got you. Hit 2 balls with 1 bat by hitching a ride on a Potawatomi game day shuttle. Make any purchase of the sportsbook or same-day sports bet to get a wristband and seat on the shuttle. Shuttles begin approximately 2 hours before the first pitch. Return shuttles run nonstop for 1 hour after the game. For more, visit Potawatomi.com. Bets above the rest. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM and 1057 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here.
Chourio grounds one fair. Up the left field line. And he'll dig for extra bases. A sliding double for Jackson Chourio to lead things off in the bottom of the first.
So a little taste of it right away. Jackson Chourio fakes the bunt earlier in the count and then pulls the third baseman in. A breaking ball down the middle that he gets on top of and gets it past Matt Shaw, who's playing a little in from his usual position back.
Everybody's favorite, Ron Darling, there on the call. Y'all were just mean to Ron Darling on social media. Mean, I tell you. See, Sparky Fifer with you. Highlight courtesy of TBS. Charlie using other side of the glass. Coming up, we'll get to things that we missed on today's show. Looking forward to doing that. Let me tell you about my friends over there at Prize Picks. It's the best way to win cash on the Packers this football season. Which players are going off? Which ones are overhyped? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds. Turn your takes into cash all season long on Prize Picks. Now, the best way we know how to play Prize Picks is we play that flex play. We're being honest, because the flex play protects us in case we get something wrong. All you're doing is more or less on at least 2 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. With flex play, you can get one wrong and still cash in. So it gives you 2 options, right? You get the flex play option, you do the power play option, so you get to pick which way you want to go. Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. Want to pick more on Josh Allen's passing yards and rushing yards and touchdowns? Now you can pick all of them in the same lineup only on Prize Picks. By the way, that didn't go so well last night for Josh Allen. Speaking of that, follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click. Whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like, hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code Sparky, SPARKY, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Sparky to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. It's at prizepicks.com for details. All right, so as we wait to see what else comes out of this Pat Murphy sounder here, Charlie is going to put up a poll question for y'all to participate in up until 8 o'clock. Right after 8 o'clock will be that first pitch, the Brewers and Cubs at American Family Field. Do you agree with the decision to start Jackson Chourio in the outfield, of all things, in tonight's Game 2 against the Cubs, as apparently they've decided to do, Pat Murphy, training staff, and others for the Milwaukee Brewers? So you can answer that question if you are on Twitter by simply going to @TheFanMilwaukee. Charlie will post that one up on Twitter, and you'll have your chance to vote. But it's only going to go till about 8 o'clock or so, right?
Yes, it is. And the 2 options are hell yes and hell no, Sparky.
Oh, very good. Consistency.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yes.
Using the word hell. Okay, so hell yes or hell no. I obviously am in the camp of hell no. I'm not a fan of this. As I stated before, I'm not risking losing him for an extended period of time by playing him in a Game 2, which you're up 1-0 at this point. So I'm not all in on that one. Secondly, like, wouldn't this have been a nice little bonus pop of, hey, dog, I know you've struggled, but I know you can play. Mr. Collins, you're going to play tonight. You're going to get yourself 4 at-bats, and we're going to get you out of this funk and get you going again and build that confidence back up against Shota Imanaga. Like, this would have been the perfect opportunity to let Collins get some at-bats here in the playoffs prior to going back to Wrigley for Game 3. And who knows? He gets a couple of hits. His confidence gets up. Maybe he gets back to being the Isaac Collins he was prior to having that kid. When this kind of all spiraled out when he had that 2 or 3 day break when he had his kid. So maybe that gets him going. But instead, we're going to run Jackson Chourio out there. Okay. Hamstrings, in my opinion, are like oblique muscles to a certain degree, right? Once you strain it, it's probably not going to be right for a while. They gave him a month off, and boom, here we go again on the same hamstring. You're going to run him back out there 2 days later? Like, running Zach Tom out there, what was it, a week later with the oblique, I thought was insanity, and proved to be right. He lasted 1 play, and out he went again. And LaFleur's like, well, we thought he was okay. Okay. Not a doctor. I don't play one on TV either, but again, the history of oblique injuries in professional sports, pretty easy to diagnose how long that player should be out, regardless to play safe or sorry. Again, Different if, there's a NFC Conference Championship game to go to the Super Bowl, or it's the Super Bowl and he wants to go out there and try and play. By all means, man, I'm not going to ruin your dreams of playing in this situation. That's not what this is. It's not what it is at all. Charlie, I got to ask you this about this Brewers team as we get ready for the Cubs here.
Mm-hmm.
We had David Haw on earlier from Mully and Hall on 670 The Score. He took aim at Kyle Tucker. He took aim at Pete Crow Armstrong, at guys that have to get going for this Cubs team if they're going to have any hope of winning this series. He laughed when I asked him how much hope he had as far as the Cubs winning this series. He said, still picking the Cubs to win in 5 because that's what he picked before the series, but hope is dwindling after what he saw in game 1. Is it really about those two guys to get going here for this Cubs offense against Ashby and whoever follows them in order to get this offense going?
I don't really think so. When I talked about the Brewers earlier in the show, I brought up the fact that I don't think it really relies on their top 4 guys to get going in a series like this. It relies on the consistency throughout the lineup for guys to just get on base each inning, find a way to put pressure on the opposing pitcher as much as possible. And if I'm looking at the Chicago Cubs, Kyle Tucker and Pete Crow Armstrong went nuclear in the first half of the season. They did everything they could to put the Cubs into this position, and then Kyle Tucker dealt with injuries, and Pete Crow Armstrong is 22 years old, so he's still struggling and still learning how to be an MLB player, and you saw him start to struggle a little bit in the second half there. It really relies on a lot of these other guys surrounding those two guys to lift them up when they are down. In a situation like this, yes, you want your star players to be the stars, but they can only be the stars if they have the confidence from the guys around them. You need a Seiya Suzuki to be more consistent than he has been throughout this entire season if you're the Cubs. You need a Nico Horner not to make boneheaded plays like he did in that game on Saturday. Those are the big type of moments that these players can help feed a Kyle Tucker and Pete Crow Armstrong some confidence. But in return, they are not doing that. They're just going out there and making mistakes and screwing things up and putting those two guys into more of a hole of this mentality that they have to lift this team up because nobody else will do it.
So earlier today, Isaac Collins was asked about Chourio. And Chourio is, quote, Churio's a big part of this team, and we hope that there's no setback. But if my name is called upon, I'm going to be ready for my moment. I really thought he was going to have his moment. Then there is video posted as well from Matt Zahn from CBS Chicago of Chourio running and kicking his legs high in the air on the infield, testing out the hamstring as well. Because one would have to imagine that he would have to prove to the training staff and to Pat Murphy that he is good enough to go in this game. So he was doing all the ridiculous exercises they wanted him to do to prove that he could go out there and play. The lineup, in case you are wondering, is going to be the exact same lineup they used in game 1, including Chourio leading off and playing in the outfield. So that is not going to change for the Milwaukee Brewers. So if you're heading down to Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound to go see Tommy Wirtz and Josh Albrecht for the leadoff show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook tonight, you can plan on seeing the exact same lineup. And that lineup that they use has Perkins and Joey Ortiz at the bottom of this lineup. I like the lineup. I'm not a big fan of having Blake Perkins bat in this lineup, but I understand why they're doing what they're doing to get his, Gold Glove caliber center fielder butt out there in center field, to have Frelick out there and Chourio out there, even though with Chourio now with his hamstring, I'm not really quite sure if he's going to be able to open up, but we will see how that whole thing plays out. I like the lineup. I had no issue with the lineup other than Perkins, but I got why they were doing it. So hopefully this offense can generate, they don't need to score 9. I think if you score 4 or 5 runs, that should be good enough to win this game, Charlie.
Well, and Blake Perkins, let's not forget, had one of the best at-bats in that first
11
game.
pitches.
He went out there and he battled. It's not any different than I think what you'd get from an Isaac Collins, except for you get a Gold Glove defender on top of that too.
Correct.
I think you're getting what you can out of this team in any given moment, no matter who it is. I think, you could put Isaac Collins out there and he would give you the same kind of battle at it and bat. But with a guy like Blake Perkins, the more veteran player, the guy with that defense there, it's really important to keep that in the lineup. And I think Pat Murphy knows that. So, I'm with you. I really like this lineup, and I'm glad they're sticking with it. Consistency is key again.
I like the lineup as well, and you're playing your best players. We're not trying to be smarter than the room. We're not trying to outthink anybody. We're just doing what the obvious states, which is play the guys that he's played in game 1, you play them in game 2. Don't try to be the smartest guy in the room like it tends to be. I was concerned that the Aaron Ashby move to start him might be smartest guy in the room stuff. But as we've stated before, that means Priester is the game 3 and Quintana is game 4, and you're saving Peralta for game 1 of the NLCS or game 5 of this, then to me, it makes all the sense in the world. If this is going to be game 3 is going to be Mizorowski and game 4 is Peralta, or game 2 is Mizorowski. I'm all screwed up. If game 2 is Priester here and game 3 is Quintana, and then game 4 is Peralta, and then game 5 is Priester, that's another opportunity and a different way that you can go if you'd like at this point. I think I'd rather prefer Priester be game 3, Quintana be game 4, with the wind blowing in game 3, according to Vinny Routino. Makes a lot of sense. And then Peralta is right there in position to start game 1. Remember, the NLCS game 1, based on everything I've seen, is going to be Monday. So you're going to be able to reset. The sooner you get this series done, Wednesday or Thursday, that means you're going to have 3 days off again to reset the rotation to figure out what your NLCS roster is going to look like heading into that series against Philadelphia or the Dodgers.
Well, and I think with Quinn Priester, you want to give him a start. I don't think you want to send him out there with an opener. He's proved this season.
He's done it before, though.
I know he has, but he's proved this season that he is, again, like I keep saying, the most consistent part of this rotation, the most consistent part of this team, if we're being completely honest throughout this season.
Yep.
And I think with that, you have to give him that confidence that he can go out there in a opposing territory like Chicago and start a game and be that guy for you and just be that rock that's been in this rotation. I think looking at the decision to start an Aaron Ashby in this game tonight, last year, the year before that, I would have been freaking out a little bit as a Brewers fan. It would have made me think, oh, what's wrong with Quintana? Why isn't he going out there? Oh, great. This is a desperation move. The bullpen's going to be screwed. We're going to be done. Again, like I've mentioned before on this station, this season has felt so different to me. And not a single time have I really questioned decisions from this team and what they're doing, and it's worked out because I haven't questioned it, I feel like, in my mind. So I'm not going to question this one. I believe in what they're doing and that they have a good plan moving forward.
That's good. I've questioned a lot. I'll continue to question a lot just because that's who I am, regardless of manager. It could be Charlie managing, and I'm going to question things. Right?
I'd question a lot of things too if I was managing.
But I mean, I've done it my whole life. Regardless of the manager, I'm going to question things, regardless of who the GM is or who the head coach is or whatever. That's just my nature, regardless of what it may be. I question things at home on a regular basis that drives everybody crazy. It's no different. Coming up next, things that we missed on today's show, including the Bucks and the Heat open up exhibition action tonight, and LeBron is promoting some second decision coming. That's all straight ahead. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here.
I'll bring up Caleb Durbin, who struck out his first time. Off the hands, little flare. Horner unable to get there. 2 more will score.
It's beautiful. Guys like Caleb Durbin, right? Having moments, having big moments. That is the type of stuff you want from this Brewers team as they head into the postseason, getting ready for Game 2 tonight at American Family Field. First pitch just after 8 o'clock. And it's Ashby versus Imanaga on the mound for the Cubs. Brewers starting lineup will be the exact same as the last game. If you're just tuning in, they've decided to play Jackson Chourio and play him in the outfield as well, and see how things go with his hamstring, apparently. So we'll find out. We have a poll question going up at the Fan Milwaukee. If you want to vote on that as far as hell yes or hell no, if you are in favor of this move to play Jackson Chourio the 2 days after him feeling something with his hamstring that he was out a month with in Game 1. So go ahead, vote there on X. Things we missed on today's show: Bucks and Heat tonight in Miami. That one tips at about 6:30. I would imagine the Bucks Heat game will be on at Kelly's Bleachers, where Tommy and Josh Albrecht will be tonight for the leadoff show, part of the Potawatomi Sportsbook, from 5 till 8 o'clock here on the Fan. And again, out of Kelly's Bleachers, thanks in large part to Sun Cruiser, vodka iced tea, 100 calories, no bubbles, just deliciousness. Make sure to have a couple Sun Cruisers when you're down there checking out the show with Josh and Tommy. Have a chance to get those Euchre Magic shirts until we run out tonight. So take advantage of that too. This Bucks Heat game, no Giannis, it doesn't appear, as Giannis is battling COVID. It's interesting. So he misses the training camp part with COVID. Then he gets to Miami, and he says that physically he's not feeling 100% because of what COVID did to him and so forth. Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure. Yeah.
Do you know anybody that's had COVID in the last, I don't know, 3 months, 6 months?
Not personally. No, not that I can think of. I'm not a person who asks a lot of questions though. So somebody might have, I don't know.
It's been a while since I've heard anybody that I know say, "Oh yeah, can't come into work, I got COVID," or "Yeah, can't come do this with you, Spark, because I got." It's been a minute. Like when I heard the news on Yas, I was like, "Really? That's still that okay?" All right.
But I also wasn't really surprised when I heard it either. Too, even though I haven't heard that, I'm not the most surprised. You know?
I don't know. I was just kind of, and then when he says he's not 100%, means obviously that'd be kind of serious if it took a toll on him physically at this point. So. Hopefully he's good and able to play here at some point. As he pointed out, he's got a couple of weeks before he's got to worry about the regular season to work himself back up. I'm not quite sure what I want to see tonight, if we're being honest with this Bucks Heat game tonight, because it is an exhibition game. But part of what Doc Rivers has been preaching has been wanting to get out and run more, wanting to press more as well, and be more athletic and more quick. Just in general, based on the roster that they've built in the offseason, right? Guys like Gary Harris now on this roster, Miles Turner now on this roster, Amir Coffey now on this roster, guys like that. And to see if we see any major difference watching them play against the Heat tonight, as far as how much quicker they are, how much more athletic they are, I think that's part of what I'm looking for. And then to see how much they actually are pressing when guys are bringing up the ball. Are they going to make every single guy after a made basket, be under pressure, bringing the ball up court? If so, I'm all for it, because you waste a good 3 or 4 seconds by pressing somebody, bringing the ball up court. From that perspective, that means your defense doesn't have to defend as long. So I'm all for it if that's the decision that they decide to go with. And then you've got Kevin Porter Jr. How will he look? AJ Green, I think it was Eric Name that shot video just a little while ago. AJ Green and Miles Turner getting up shots before the game tonight. What does that look like? And how long will it take me to get used to Miles Turner in a freaking Bucks uniform? That may take me a minute before I'm used to seeing that.
It's going to be fun. This is a team that I think is similarly constructed to what we saw last season, but it's still a very different team than what we saw. And I think that what we want to see in a game like this is, how does this Bucks team react now without a Giannis, without a Damian Lillard, without even a Chris Middleton at this point on that court? It's Miles Turner and everybody else. And it's going to be really interesting to see how they adapt to that and which guys step up in this situation. And in a preseason where I normally don't care about NBA preseason that much. I do care about watching the Bucks this year. There's going to be a lot of young players fighting for those end of bench roles that may get a shot this year.
We'll see how that goes. Again, I'm assuming they'll have that game on at Kelly's Bleachers tonight.
It's on FanDuel Sports Network, so I would assume
FanDuel Sports Network. Yep, I would assume they'll have it on. When I got there on Saturday for our 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. pregame show marathon that Tommy Wirtz did a great job with, I walked in. Well, first, on the way there, I'm listening on the car, and Mitch Nellis is back here producing and talking on the radio, and you hear this loud roar in the background, and it's because they had the Badger-Michigan game on, right? I mean, after the first half, you felt hope. You felt good. You were like, okay, we got a chance. I can't believe they're actually in this freaking game. The defense was playing out of their mind in the first half of this game, right? They actually found a way to score a touchdown to the Badgers.
Is Wisconsin the new Iowa? Are they becoming the new Iowa, where it's just going to be all defense and no offense, and then you may win tons of games just off of that?
So I realize that Iowa is the rival of the Wisconsin Badgers, but when you think of Iowa, you think of competitive and pretty good on a year-to-year basis, neither of which are the Wisconsin Badgers right now. So no, that would not be it. Are they the new Purdue? Maybe is the better question.
We'll just start to get into that kind of realm where we're just going to have to rely on defenses every year, not even worry about what's happening on the offensive side of the ball.
They went to their third string quarterback to start this game. That's how frustrated Fickle is with what he has to work with right now. And in the beginning of the game, he looked pretty good. And then you realize why he was third string by the time the game was over. They have no quarterback again. Year 3, no quarterback. And then MikeFarrellSports.com, we've had Mike Farrell on the show before. A guy, one of his staff writers writes, are the Badgers the worst team in the Big Ten? Never in my life did I think I would read that as a headline and a column piece from a national writer about the Badger football program when they hired Luke Fickell to be the next head coach of the Badgers. Never did I think I'd see a piece questioning whether or not they're the worst team in the Big Ten. And I'll be honest, maybe. And Iowa, that's next. So I don't know, man.
I mean, at least somebody's talking about them, right? Usually people just don't talk about them this season, so it's something.
See, your sarcasm is just ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. So you have Iowa at Camp Randall, 6 o'clock Saturday night, okay? Iowa's not ranked. Then Ohio State at Camp Randall on the 18th. That's going to be ugly. Then to Oregon on the 25th. That's going to be ugly. Home against Washington, maybe. At Indiana on the 15th of November, no chance. Home against Brett Bielema on the 22nd, not happening. And then at Minnesota. I mean, if we're being honest here, as far as wins go, as far as what they're going to have for wins for the entire year, I said, 5, I think is what I said at the beginning of the year. Right now, they have wins over Miami of Ohio. And on TV, they put the University of Miami. That was funny. Middle Tennessee. That's all, folks. Those are the 2 wins they have. Could they get 3 more between Iowa, Washington, and Minnesota? They'd have to win all 3 to get to 5. I don't think they win all 3 to get to 5.
I would like to point out that they have the exact record that I thought they would at this point with the exact games right. I predicted them to lose to Maryland in this one. I had them winning against Iowa, losing against Ohio State and Oregon, but beating Washington, beating Illinois, and beating Minnesota.
They're not.
I think they can do that.
They're not.
I think they can do that. I still believe in them. Sparky.
Unless Illinois gets ravaged by injuries, there is no chance that Brett
Bielema is
fighting
for their life right now in the middle of the season because they're fighting with injuries.
James Franklin better be on job watch.
Bring him to Wisconsin.
UCLA took him out. I'm telling you, that dude.
Or bring UCLA's interim head coach over to Wisconsin.
He might be on job watch over there at Penn State. That was a colossal fiasco that he had right there. Third thing that we missed before we get up to 5 o'clock here with Tommy Wirtz and Josh Albrecht at Kelly's Bleachers. LeBron James puts out a social media, says decision 2. It's some dude, I don't know who he is, sitting down in a chair, fold-up chair. I think there was a table maybe in between them. And then LeBron walks out. He sits down in a chair, and they just look at each other. And then it goes to a graphic that says decision 2. I have no idea what this is all about. Charlie, you said some people were messaging or seeing on Twitter what people are guessing this is about with LeBron James.
Yeah, so the big theory is, so tomorrow, this is not a theory, but tomorrow is Amazon Prime Day.
Fact.
That is a fact. That is Amazon Prime Day. His speech or whatever this decision is supposed to happen tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern time. So 11 a.m. here. And I think that when you look at all those things combined together and what people are saying on Twitter, which is LeBron has done these types of campaigns with Amazon before in the past where he's helped promote the Amazon Prime Days, that this is probably just going to be a big ad campaign, which is what I said when we were in the pre-show meeting. I was I don't think this is real. I don't think this is anything. And all those people are corroborating my story here a little bit.
Well, if it's Amazon Prime, then that's fine. If that's all this is. Like, I have absolutely no problem with this whatsoever if he's promoting something like that. But if this is like
him retiring or something,
that would be amazing. Like, can I just say, if he retires, oh my goodness, then it does not matter what happens. It does not matter what happens today in Major League Baseball. I'm telling you right now, if tomorrow he announces he's done, nobody will talk about baseball the rest of the day. Nobody will talk about baseball the next day. Like, it is going to be all LeBron all the time. We will talk about the Brewers, obviously, on this show.
We're still going to talk about the rest LeBron, though, I feel
rest of the station. But there probably will be a little LeBron splashed into it if LeBron retires. That's what I'm hoping for. That would be wonderful.
I don't know if I want him to retire.
That would be the best decision yet.
I mean, he may be the greatest athlete I've ever seen play any sport in my lifetime.
That's fair.
I mean, I don't really want to see that retire. And he's still playing really well, like all NBA caliber type of play. I mean,
how about this? How about he does this? Because you remember the last time he did this, it was for the Boys and Girls Club, right? He donated money to the Boys and Girls Club. That was his way to try and soften the blow of doing the TV thing. How about he does this? How about he says this, Charlie?
Let's hear it.
I'm retiring, but I'm donating this year's salary to the Boys and Girls Club.
That'd be pretty cool. That would definitely be a really cool story.
Full circle, right? How much is he making this year? He's going to be making a bunch of money. Donate that year's salary to the Boys and Girls Club, and then away we go and see what the fallback is on that. That would be cool.
LeBron is currently on a $52 million cap hit, so about $52.627 million a year. Yeah.
Do $52 million to the Boys and Girls Club, and when you make this announcement that you're done, and let's go. But again, it's probably Amazon Prime Day. Fine. It is probably what it is. But if he announces retirement,
Laker fans, Tuesday afternoon would be so weird.
Yes, but the preseason is going. To announce it now? You could have announced it at any point in the summer, and you wait till the season starts and go, I'm
make sure,
done?
Sparky. He had to make sure.
Oh, my goodness.
He was ready to go, ready to leave.
Laker fans would be besides themselves. Like, you would have some that would be crying and some that would just be super angry. Like, dude, what are you doing? You could have done this months ago. Why are you waiting till now?
They got Luka Doncic. They got the next version up there.
I don't know. All right, time to make our picks for tonight, Game 2. Before we get to Tommy Wirtz and Josh Albrecht over there at Callie's Bleachers on Blue Mound, they'll have the Euchre Magic t-shirts from the fan to give away while supplies last. Sun Cruiser vodka iced teas will be flowing nice. I'm telling you, those things, they come in little small bottles. No bubbles, 100 calories, and they're delicious. Try one. Then be like, oh, you were right, Sparky. All right, what is your pick for tonight's Game 2? Cubs down 1-0. They lost the first one 9-3 to our Milwaukee Brewers. Chicago Charlie, what say you?
Our guy Brandon Snide in that last break texted us and let us know that Aaron Ashby has not allowed a run since September 9th. I think that is absolutely insane. Because of that, I think this Cubs team is going to have to struggle a little bit to find a run. I'm going to say Brewers win this one 4-2.
4-2.
4-2. Brewers slow down a little bit. Cubs still can't get it going.
Yeah, I don't think the Brewers get 9 runs. I tend to agree with you on that. I'm going to go right back with my first prediction that I made for Game 1 that was completely wrong. Well, I got the 3 right. I'm going to say 5-3 Brewers win this one. And I think the Cubs will make it interesting. Cubs will make it interesting and say the 7th, 8th, 9th innings and make this maybe a little bit hairier than Brewers fans would like with the relief pitching. But I'll say the Brewers win 5-3, be up 2-0 with the day off, and then wind blowing in, it sounds like, according to Vinny Rottino, on Wednesday at Wrigley. Sets up nicely for the Brewers. That'll do it for Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Up next, Tommy Wirtz, Josh Albrecht at Kelly's on Blue Mound, the leadoff show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.